All right, testing, testing. Let me know if you guys can hear me or not, and let me know if the sound's okay. Um, it's the first time I've gone live in a while, as you guys might be able to, as you guys might know. Um, how's it going, JCN, and how's it going, James Foster? Currently, we have this tornado warning here in far eastern Ohio, and then also far western Pennsylvania. And this is a radar indicated tornado. So there have been no spotters that have said that it's on the ground yet. With that being said, you need to treat it like there is a tornado on the ground. Let me quickly pull up. Let me quickly pull up the road icons. That way, we know where this is. Run sign labels. Here we go. We won't do state route, but we'll do everything else. Okay. So this tornado warned cell is approaching I-79 from the west. So let me grab the manual tracking mode here. Oh, we're getting an update right now. I'll wait for that. Okay, I'll do it now. So the rotation is right in this area here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this out, and the motion of the storm is 83 degrees. So this storm is headed toward Upper St. Clair in 25 minutes and Mount Lebanon in 27 minutes. Let me actually draw this a little wider out. That way, there we go. Okay, so this will be at Upper St. Clair in 24 minutes and Mount Lebanon in 26 minutes. It appears as though it'll be at McDonald in 12 minutes. So if you live in McDonald or you know anybody that lives there, you need to take shelter now because this may be a tornado. Once again, though, it's not confirmed, but it's radar indicated, which means that there's a pretty good chance that it is on the ground. And once again, this is headed toward Highway 79. This should be passing Interstate 79 in about 20 minutes. So if you live up to 20 minutes to the west of I-79, take shelter. But if you live to the east of I-79, you're not under a tornado warning yet. I expect that as this moves further to the east, you will get placed under a tornado warning. Let's see. This tornado warning over here, tornado watch over here is a PDS tornado watch. Just so you guys know, so that you're all in the loop, let me move that down a little bit more. This one down here in Missouri is not a PDS tornado watch. How's it going, Ardent? And then this is a severe thunderstorm watch. And so if we actually quickly take a look at, let me pull up my scene editor. Here we go, watches and warnings. These are all the watches and warnings right now. We've got that one tornado warning here. Actually, a little bit of West Virginia is in that as well, between Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. We have these tornado watches as well as a severe thunderstorm warning just north of Indianapolis, and then a severe thunderstorm warning in eastern Columbus, and then a severe thunderstorm warning just to the north of Pittsburgh. So we're going to go back to reflectivity here. And, we're getting a new scan in right now. So this appears to be wrapping up quite a bit. I'm going to switch over to, we'll head over to storm relative velocity here. So there is a bit of rotation right in this area. It seems like the rotation's breaking apart just a little bit. We'll let the scan come through again. All right, we'll take a look at base velocity instead. Okay, so looking at base velocity, you can definitely see that there is rotation inside here, right in this area, which I'm going to keep my finger there, so when we switch over to reflectivity, that's right in the middle of that hook, which means if there is a tornado, the tornado would be right in this area. The lightning strikes, though, fortunately, are a bit on the smaller side. The more lightning strikes there are, the higher of a chance you have for both hail and tornadoes, because the updraft strength has to be very strong in order to generate charge within a cloud. You need ice particles up there, and if you don't have ice particles from an updraft, a strong updraft, you're not going to get as much lightning. So there's probably going to be some hail within this storm up here. I'm actually pretty sure that that's what it's warned for. Yeah, 1-inch hail, 60 mile per hour wind. So that's some severe hail right there. So if you live in, which counties are these? If you live in Beaver County, Butler County, Allegheny County, Westmoreland County, and Armstrong County in Pennsylvania, you could be expecting some hail. And for this tornado warning down here, Jefferson County, Washington County, Beaver County, Allegheny County, Brooke County, and Hancock counties, you guys are all under a tornado warning. If you live in Ohio, if you live in eastern Ohio, you're all clear. The tornado has passed. If you live in western Pennsylvania near McDonald, if you live south of Burgettstown, Burgettstown, if you live in Upper St. Clair, you need to be thinking about taking shelter soon. You're not under a tornado warning yet, but you likely will be soon. We'll run over to correlation coefficient here. What is that? Is that a debris ball? No, that is not a debris ball, fortunately. Okay, we're going to look at this area of rotation here and grab correlation coefficient again. There's a slight dip in correlation coefficient over here. I don't know if I would call it a debris ball yet, but we're getting a new scan in, so once it comes in, we'll see. Crossing my fingers that it doesn't hit Pittsburgh. We don't need another situation like Tennessee. That's no kidding. What do you think about today? Chances for outbreak. Chances for outbreak in Illinois, definitely high. The SPC has gone ahead and issued a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch for this area. And reason being is because conditions are right for tornadoes. And not to mention, there is that surface low that's going to be moving into Illinois. And if a tornado moves along a surface low, that can transition into a long track tornado. So keeping an eye on this Illinois, Iowa, Missouri area is going to be big. But we're going to come back down here because this is where our current active tornado warning is. We'll look at reflectivity one more time. It looks like the rotation on this most recent scan is starting to fall apart, which is definitely good news. We will head over to base velocity again. Well, it's still there on okay, it's falling apart on velocity now. We have a little inflow area here, and then the outflow is overwhelming the inflow at the moment. So this may get downgraded to a severe thunderstorm warning if there is hail in it or if there's a lot of wind in it. But as of right now, it looks like this is starting to fall apart, and the organization isn't great in it. So that's good news. We do have another supercell up here that's actually beginning to exhibit some very, very signature supercell structure, especially with, you've got a large area, we call this the hail swath up north, and then a little hook beginning to form down south, which is typically where you get tornadoes, is in that hook, because that's where all the rotation is. We're gonna hit play here and animate it forward so I can see what this looked like before it passed the radar site. Okay, it's so close to the radar that it's going to be difficult to actually get much structure off of that. As it moves away and we start to see the interior of the cloud a bit more, we'll get better. We'll get a better view of that. As of right now, though, we still have this tornado warning down here. It's set to expire at 4:15 Eastern Standard Time. And it is for Jefferson, northwestern Washington, southwestern Beaver, west central Allegheny, northeastern Brooke and southeastern Hancock counties. So if you live in any of those counties, you need to take shelter now because there is a tornado warning. There may be a tornado on the ground in this. Check base. Yes, there is still some rotation, and I wasn't downplaying the rotation, but as you can see from that most recent scan, the rotation is starting to decay. That was difficult for me to say for some reason. It's starting to decay there, which means that the outflow has likely cut off the inflow winds. And in order to get a tornado, you really need those inflow winds to be dominant. And so because these inflow winds aren't dominant, we're likely going to see this either cycle and generate a new updraft and a new tornado, or we're going to see it decay. So either one of those two things are likely at this point. That's storm relative. We're going to go back to reflectivity here. Oh, to the cell north of it. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, there's definitely hook-like structure here. We'll head to base velocity. Still difficult to tell because the way that base velocity works is the green is toward the radar, the red is away from the radar. And because because it's passing the radar right now, you've got a mass switch from toward and away, and so it's difficult to tell rotation near the radar. Currently, the National Weather Service doesn't see fit to call it a tornado warning yet, so we'll still see. See the VIL? No, I haven't. I don't actually have anything where I can look at VIL. I wish I did, but getting programs that have VIL are pretty expensive. JCN, this is at 0.5 degree tilt, so it's the closest to the ground that I can get from this radar site. We'll come back over to reflectivity here. That's exhibiting very, very supercell signature right here. Like this is almost textbook. So if something does end up forming down here, that wouldn't surprise me just because this is like a traditional supercell. And let's see if they've canceled this yet. They have not canceled it yet. It's still only radar indicated, which is a good thing. And most of it's actually starting to move out of the tornado warned area. They have just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for possible tornado, 1-inch hail, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So the new severe thunderstorm warning is, you post it in radar images. In which server? In my server? No, in direct weather server. And severe radar watchers. Sorry about that. Where are you here? Can you ping me in it wherever you posted it? So this severe thunderstorm warning now is for, let's see here, Washington County, Allegheny County, and Westmoreland County in Pennsylvania. We still have this severe thunderstorm warning up here, and so once again I'm going to, for anybody that's new here, I'm going to switch to watches and warnings. We've got one tornado warning which I believe is set to expire at, when's it going to expire? It's set to expire at 4:15, so in another minute. I'm assuming that the National Weather Service is going to let this expire. We've got two severe thunderstorm warnings here in the Pittsburgh area. We have a severe thunderstorm warning here in eastern Ohio. We have two severe thunderstorm warnings, one just north of Indianapolis and one in kind of southeastern or west central Indiana. That's west. And then we have this PDS tornado watch, which this is a PDS tornado watch here. This is a regular tornado watch, and we do have a severe thunderstorm warning here in Arkansas. That tornado warning here in Oklahoma, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania did expire, so now we're just left with three severe thunderstorm warnings. The severe thunderstorm warning in eastern Ohio did also expire, and they've moved it further to the east, and it's now encompassing almost the same area, just a little further south. You pinged me? Okay. Are you sure? Because I don't... Severe weather pics? Is that where it is? Radar images? Ah, I see it now. Actually, can I get... Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can get that on here. I might be able to. I just didn't think I could. Ah, I can. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of water falling out of these. But for now, I'm going to come back up to reflectivity here, and we'll move off of the probe tool. Okay. I'm going to, because I live in this area, I'm going to come over here to Indiana and show some of the some of what's going on over here. Show sites. We do have a lot of lightning in this storm up to the north, and actually, now that I say that, it's getting very dark around here, so there is that as well. Come on. Okay, here we go. So we have likely a hail core up here to the north, just south of Lebanon there. Yep, so this is hail that's about an inch and wind that's less than 50 miles per hour. So this severe thunderstorm warning is definitely for the hail. Sorry if you guys can hear hammering. My dad's working on the house. But so this is for, I believe, Boone County and... Let's see here. Yeah. So Northern Hendricks County, Boone County, and Montgomery counties. And then we have this one down here, which is for hail as well. I'm assuming that there's a little bit of a hail core in there somewhere. This isn't the best radar site for that just because it's a little ways away. And we can actually come to radar control here and measure this out. This is over a kilometer off the ground, so over 5,000, about 5,000 feet off the ground. So it's kind of difficult to see anything in there. But we have this severe thunderstorm warning down here as well. That's for Virgo County, Sullivan County, Clay County, and Owen counties. And we're getting a new scan in. Come on, new scan. I wonder if this is doing anything down here, because that looks a little rotation-y. Yeah, some of the programs that people use have a little bit of delay, which isn't entirely helpful. I hate not having like up-to-date information just because it makes it more difficult to do my job. Let's see if we've got any other tornado warnings anywhere. I'm going to cut the lightning off because the lightning is a little distracting. Or actually, I may just make it smaller. Wonder how that is. That's a lot better. I had those icons way too big. Yeah, that's much better. So currently it doesn't look like we've got much of anything going on, just a few severe thunderstorm warnings, which is good. The calmer the better. and actually I'm going to turn off the lightning icons because they're slightly distracting. We have this severe thunderstorm warning over here in far eastern Illinois. Don't really have a great radar site to take a look at that, but we will grab this. And this is for Edgar County. Is there a difference in scan resolution? No. Are you talking about between the different tilts? Because if so, no. The resolution should be about the same. The biggest difference is that you're gonna see less precipitation just because the higher up you go in the cloud, the less water it'll actually have in it. So here I'm gonna go to 0.9 degree tilt. There's 0.9. Here's 1.3, which actually a new scan's coming through on 1.3 right now. So on Radar Scope, I believe that as long as you have high res selected, like super res velocity or super res reflectivity, I believe that even if you do different tilts, you'll still get the same resolution, you just see less. So this is the 1.3 degree, this is 1.8 degree, this is 2.4 degree, and if we turn smoothing off, well, does the resolution go down? I guess the resolution does decrease a little bit. That's something I didn't know. Thank you for pointing that out to me, because that's new to me. But we'll come back down to 0.5 and we'll turn smoothing back on. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning here issued for Madison County, Boone County, Hamilton County, and Tipton counties in central Indiana. Yeah, KIND isn't a great radar, I don't think. I definitely enjoy the Illinois radars, but since I live in Indiana, it's a lot easier for me to just use the KIND because I can get most of central Indiana in it. Any tornado warnings? Nothing? Okay. We still, once again, though, have this PDS tornado watch over here that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Actually, I may pull out Radar Scope just to keep an eye on watches and warnings in that area, because as soon as something comes up, I want to be on it. We'll come back over here to Pennsylvania because they've still got 3 severe thunderstorm warnings in their area. Come on. There we go. Switch over to this now. Sometimes WSV3 is a little slow on switching radar sites, so we'll get to it though. Here we are. Okay, so this supercell to the north is still producing 1-inch hail and damaging winds. We will come over here to base velocity, and we do have some rotation in this. So there is rotation within this storm. Come back down to reflectivity and look at this one here. This previously tornado warned cell is moving over I-79 right now. Currently, the threats are 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, especially if you live to the north here near Mount Lebanon and past further to the east from McDonald. This is where the highest threat for hail is. And actually, I will come to blank, and then I'm going to switch over to mean estimated hail size. Oh, and there's even some down here near Cannonsburg. 1 to 2 inch hail is being picked up by the radar site here, as well as some... Oh, here's the update. Okay. A little bit further to the north, 1 to 2 inch hail once again for this area between Cannonsburg and Mount Lebanon. Cannonsburg, you're dealing with hail up to 1 inch as well. And then south of Kurtzville, actually passing over Interstate 76 right now, we have some hail up to 1 inch as well. We'll come back over to reflectivity and go off of Interact. Yeah, if you want to post images in the chat, go ahead. Or in the channel, that's fine. The channel's pretty much dead at this point. still nothing, so that's definitely good. Let's try to keep it that way. For those of you who haven't been following it, if you're just tuning in and you haven't known, there is a moderate risk for severe storms over here in parts of Illinois, very small slivers of Iowa, as well as parts of Missouri. And this moderate risk is where the bulk of this PDS tornado watch is. But coming back over here to Pennsylvania, we still have these 3 severe thunderstorm warnings within this overarching severe thunderstorm watch. This one down here is for Belmont, Washington, Greene counties Washington and Greene counties in Pennsylvania, Belmont County in Ohio, Ohio County and Marshall counties in West Virginia. That's not very nice that there's an Ohio County in West Virginia bordering with Ohio. This is why I like VIL. Okay, yeah, it makes it... I can definitely see that. I like to use the MEHS product, the mean estimated hail size, but VIL also has its pluses, because this is really where the concentration of hail is, and this is also where the concentration of hail is. But if we come over here to mean estimated hail size, it also kind of tells you how large the hail is itself. But we'll come back over to reflectivity. It looks like this supercell that was once very well defined up here in the north is beginning to fall apart. We can see the path that it took as it began falling apart. So you see it had real definition as it was passing the radar site, and then it just kind of falls apart later on. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning up here to the north in more west central Pennsylvania. This is for Indiana County, Butler County, Jefferson County, Armstrong County, and Clarion counties in west central Pennsylvania. And this is for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So if you live in... Let's try to take a look at where this hail is. Oop, that's posh. Here we go. So if you live near just to the north and just to the west of Kittening, you have some hail there, up to about 1 inch. Images. Yeah, there is some weak rotation there. What we're looking for, JCN, is we're looking for stronger rotation. So you see that the reds aren't very deep and aren't really pink in that image, and the greens are almost gray in it. So there's some really weak rotation there, and it's fairly broad as well. What we're looking for is more centralized, so rotation that's, I guess, tighter in, and then also stronger rotation. There may be, like I said, this is a supercell, so there is definitely a mesocyclone in it. But we're going to come back over here to reflectivity again. Oop, that's blank. There's reflectivity. So still those 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. We have another severe thunderstorm warning here in Indiana, in west central Indiana. This is for Virgo County, Park County, and Vermilion counties in Indiana. And this is for 1-inch hail, and then there's also wind that's less than 50 miles per hour, so not at the severe limit yet on wind, but definitely there on hail. We've got all of these storms that are starting to look more rotation-y. We'll let the scan come in here. I know rotation is not a word, but, you know, just trying to use descriptive words. There is a little bit... no, this is just passing the radar site here, so that's not rotation there. for this storm up here to the north, and it's actually, the severe thunderstorm warning has now moved. This is for Madison County, Boone County, Hamilton County, and Tipton counties in Indiana. And then we have the severe thunderstorm warning down here to the south. That is for... Oh, this severe thunderstorm warning has actually been canceled. So this will probably show up for another 5 minutes or so before it finally goes away. But the National Weather Service has officially canceled that severe thunderstorm warning. So we're going to take one more look at watches and warnings. For my color scheme, this deep red, these are tornado watches, but this up here is a PDS tornado watch. So any tornado warning that pops up in this area will be on stat, because that's going to be very important. Tornado warnings anywhere are very important, but especially in an area deemed a PDS tornado watch. We have this severe thunderstorm warning spanning from Indiana all the way over to most of western Pennsylvania, and then we have a tornado watch down here for parts of Arkansas. How's it going, Pyro? But we'll come back here to reflectivity. Still struggle with the difference between meso and tornadic rotation, as in threshold and width for each. Okay, the main problem with the radar image that you sent was that it wasn't strong enough, so the winds were very weak on it. If we come back over here, I can show you what I'm talking about. Come on. Okay, there we go. We will take a look at base velocity here again. Okay, so we can see the areas where there are differing wind speeds. Let me grab the probe tool really quickly. So we can see the negatives just mean it's going in the opposite direction, so toward the radar. So negative 10.3 miles per hour, 12.6. So, and then over here, 16 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour. The winds over here on this side are very weak, and that's the problem. I'm not sure what like 30 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour is in meters per second, because I know that that's what you guys use, or kilometers per hour, sorry. But for winds that weak, this is likely just more general rotation. Fighting off bronchitis, I'm doing way better. Stay healthy, man. Bronchitis sucks. Whenever I get sick, I usually get bronchitis, so I know how that is. Still no tornado warnings. Still no tornado warnings. There is in this little warm sector right here. So if we come over and turn on fronts, in this little warm sector right here, there have just been tons of pop-up like supercells in the area. So especially over here, because there's a little bit of a triple point here between really in eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania, where we are getting most of those warnings, and then also along and south of this warm front and this occluded front right here. Although that's a stationary front, I believe. This is occluded over here. And then also in between these two dry lines and between the dry line and the warm front. These are all areas that are ripe for development, because we do have the lift that's associated with these particular fronts that are all around. Better than the other junk going around. Yeah, that's for sure. Stay inside, especially if you're already sick. Don't want to get any more of anything that's spreading around at the moment. So there's currently not a whole lot to talk about, actually, because there are these severe thunderstorm warnings. I haven't taken a look at this one down here in Arkansas. So we will come take a look at that guy. As soon as it loads in, takes a minute. It likes to take its sweet time. Here we go. Starting to get something. So we've got a severe thunderstorm warning down here in north central Arkansas, or close to northeastern Arkansas. And this is for Independence County, Selburne County, and White counties in Arkansas. And this is for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail, which is 1-inch hail thereabout. 1 mile per hour is 1.6 kilometers per hour. Divide by kilometers per hour by 3.6, and you have meters per second. Okay. Thank you for the quick conversion. How's it going, Kevin? A lot of lightning associated with this, so hail is definitely there. As I said earlier for Kevin and Pyro, if you guys are just tuning in as well, is that the more lightning there is, the larger updraft strength you have, because you need to be able to basically lift ice particles into the air in order to actually get a charge in the cloud in order to produce lightning. So if you have a lot of lightning, you likely have very strong updrafts, and your risk for hail increases as well. So, and the more new lightning, so the way that the lightning works in this program is that the newer lightning is white, while the older lightning is yellow and red. And so the more new lightning you have, if you've got a lot of new lightning, that's signifying a strengthening storm because that updraft is strengthening itself. So we got our new scan coming in. Not much new going on. It doesn't appear as though there's any rotation in this. We will check base velocity to make sure, though. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any rotation. If there is, it's relatively weak. There is a lot of wind aloft associated with this, though. Over here, we've got... Come on. Here we go. We've got winds around 60 to 70 miles per hour. And we also have weaker winds over here, which very strong winds in one direction combined with very weak winds can produce rotation. So there may be a mesocyclone on this. Just because the area that is right here, let me grab the tessellation tool, sorry. The wind that's on this is much faster than the wind that's here. So what you get in between here is wind that comes forward and turns around, if that makes any sense to you guys. So there could be rotation inside this. Normally what your traditional rotation looks like, for those of you who don't know, is you've got winds that, come on, okay, here we go. You got winds going forward, and then you got winds coming back, or really it would be winds forward, winds back, and then you've got counterclockwise rotation in there. It needs to be counterclockwise. So ones like this isn't really going to produce much. But over here on this further west side, I'll clear the paintbrush here. We got winds up here, and then we've got winds right here. And so what this is doing is we've got a larger magnitude of wind here than over here, and so it produces a net rotation right in this area. And let's go ahead and finish that. Okay, here we go. Any more stuff? Nope. Nothing really to worry about. Come back to reflectivity. Can you see a drop in reflectivity with a strong updraft? A drop in reflectivity with a strong updraft. I don't know why you would, but I guess if you changed the thermodynamic profile, like, for example, the updraft increased, but you became capped, you could see a I'm in the PDS Tornado Watch. ADG, I won't put you in timeout if you don't spam. So there's that. Okay, you're getting put in timeout. Actually, no, I'm just going to go ahead and... Come on. There we go. You're in the PDS Tornado Watch. That sucks. Or it's great if you're a chaser. But you definitely don't want to be in this PDS Tornado Watch up here. Currently, nothing in this area is really showing signs of rotation, despite it all being inside this Tornado Watch area. But JCN, I guess that there are circumstances where you may see intensification, but then also a decrease in reflectivity, but that would have to involve a cap traveling over the area at the same time that the updraft strength is increasing, and in which case you would see a decrease in the amount of lightning because you're not getting updrafts high enough to really produce ice. So yes and no. It's a bit of a double question. We do have this storm down here headed toward the city, so that's interesting. Clouds are getting even darker outside. But we currently have these 3 severe thunderstorm warnings in Indiana. We'll head over to the watches and warnings again. PDS tornado watch here in Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois. A tornado watch down here for parts of just regular, not PDS, for parts of Missouri and Arkansas, and then the severe thunderstorm watch headed from Indiana through Ohio and into Pennsylvania as well as this little tip here of West Virginia. And there are severe thunderstorm warnings kind of spread about. None currently in this PDS tornado watch area. We have one down here in this tornado watch area in Arkansas, 3 in Indiana, 1 spreading between Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania, as well as these 3 here in Pennsylvania. But we can see that there are definitely storms all around, some here in southern Minnesota, as well as here in Iowa. We've got some storms here in Illinois as well, some in Indiana, and some spread throughout Ohio and Pennsylvania. I don't know why my area is not in the severe thunderstorm watch. Well, let's take a look at the fronts again. The reason that I think that you're not in any of the watches is because you don't have a lot of lift sources. So the lift sources for Kentucky are very far to the north and then also very far to the west and to the east, respectively. So you're in an area that's not going to see a lot of thunderstorm triggering. The thunderstorm triggering is going to be along and just north and just south of these boundaries you see here. So this warm front here, this stationary front, as well as this dry line, the cold front, this dry line here, and then so on and so forth. If you live near those, you're going to see more lift. What I meant is strong movement of reflected particles resulting in... That's not necessarily going to happen because you have an area in the storm that's called the lifted condensation level. And so once it gets to that level, water condensates, and then it's going to show up on radar because you now have water droplets in the air. So if the updraft did increase, you're going to get an increased amount of water vapor condensing within the cloud at that lifted condensation level. So you're going to see pretty much you're going to see pretty much either the same or increased reflectivity at that area. It's literally over the river in Cincinnati. Yes, but also near the river in Cincinnati is closer to that stationary front up here than the Louisville area is. So you can see that there's pretty close to a line here following just south of the stationary front. And so the reason why is because we have that lift source nearby, but you don't have much of a lift source down here in Kentucky. You may get some severe stuff. Like, you're just not going to get as much as the rest of really the Ohio River Valley and the Great Lakes. That's not to say you won't see anything, because obviously there's this storm right here. We'll move over to KPAH real quick and take a look at it. But there's just not a whole lot going on. Also, this severe thunderstorm warning over here in west central Indiana was canceled. We still have one here and another one up to the north in Indiana. So yeah, you got a couple of cells right here. There isn't a whole lot of lightning associated with it, so there's likely not going to be much hail. All right, enjoy your dinner, man. Stay safe too. We'll take a look at MEHS. Yeah, so there's likely not much, if any, hail in this at all, especially seeing as though the lightning is very, very, there's not very much there. Severe live storm chasing. Chasers are live in Illinois. Nice. I may, once we start getting tornado warnings, I may end up pulling up the chaser view as well. I'm not super worried about it since I'm not making money off of it, so we'll just have to see. Really quickly, though, I am going to turn off my watches and warnings. I'm going to turn off this, and I'm going to turn off that. We're also going to turn off the, where are we here? Radar domes really quickly, and we will get the road signs out of here. And we are quickly going to take a look at the dew point. Now, when we're talking about severe thunderstorms, dew point is one of those things that you need to keep an eye on. And so there is a lot of moisture here throughout most of really the Mississippi River Valley, and then north of the Ohio River Valley, there's a lot of moisture available there. And this humidity is going to be what's fueling these thunderstorms. And so if we come over here to probe, we can see we are in the mid to high upper 60s throughout Indiana and Illinois, closer to the 50s here, but really a dew point over 55 degrees is enough to generate severe weather. So we do have close to 55 up here throughout this PDS tornado watch, but there are more. There is more that goes into tornado development than just moisture. So they have the ingredients that they need in order to get a lot of tornadoes. Today we'll turn that off. We'll come over here to the temp fill so that you can really see where the fronts are. Come on, temp fill. Here we are. So we've got one of these fronts right up here throughout, really spreading just through Indianapolis, through Columbus. And then we've got another front stretching down here that's triggering these cells in Missouri and Arkansas, as well as parts of Illinois. Looks like I'm still well into the slight risk. Yeah, you are into the slight risk. A severe thunderstorm watch just means that you're going to see an increased amount of severe thunderstorms. It doesn't necessarily mean, if you're in it, it doesn't mean you are going to get severe thunderstorms. And if you're out of it, it doesn't mean you're not going to get severe thunderstorms. It just means that if you're within that severe thunderstorm watch, you're within an area where conditions are right to have a lot of them. We'll bring the radomes back up. There we go. Still have this severe thunderstorm warning here in central Indiana for Madison, Delaware, Boone, Hamilton, and Tipton counties. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning here in west central Indiana. This one has actually been canceled, so there's no longer a severe thunderstorm warning there. We have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings here in Pennsylvania. Let's bring the sites back up to flip over here. We'll turn sites off now. And this northern severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled. The severe thunderstorm warning for Indiana County, Butler County, Allegheny County, Westmoreland County, and Armstrong County is still in effect until 5:30. So this is still a severe thunderstorm warning. This one down here it remains in effect for Allegheny and Westmoreland counties. So you've got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, one to the north and one to the south. And then this severe thunderstorm warning here remains in effect until 5 p.m. for, let's see here, Belmont, Washington, and Greene County, and then also Marshall counties in Ohio. Marshall County in Ohio is under a severe thunderstorm warning, as well as Ohio and Marshall counties in West Virginia. This is not laid out well. In West Virginia are under severe thunderstorm warnings, as well as Belmont, Washington, and Greene counties. Where and when do you think there will be tornadic supercells to form? Anywhere where there are supercells, you have an increased risk of tornadoes. But the area where we're watching right now is in this Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois area, because this is a PDS tornado watch, a particularly dangerous situation, which means that conditions are ripe for very strong tornadoes to spawn, and that's also why there's that moderate risk there in that area. I am quickly going to take a look at the mesoscale discussions. So we've got one mesoscale discussion here for, actually I can probably bring it up. Unless they're not working anymore. Well, take my word for it. There's one right here, and then there's also one in the area that it's indicated in down there. But for the one up here, they're saying widely scattered strong storms may pose a continuing risk for severe hail and locally strong gusts before diminishing by 6 to 8 p.m. So we're getting near that area where the storms are going to start dying down throughout this severe thunderstorm watch area, but this is also the time that they're going to start to ramp up here for this tornado watch area. So I'm going to turn off the mesoscale discussions. Do you agree with the conditions? What do you mean? Do I agree that there should be a moderate risk for this area? Because if you're asking that, yes, I do. Taking a look at just the SKUTs in that area were enough to determine that there is enough lift and enough shear to produce some long spreading tornadoes. Parts of Illinois, Kentucky, and here we go. Tornado watch has spread out. This one down here is not a particularly dangerous situation. The one up here to the north, which is generally in this area, is. In the PDS Toro watch, where do you think the tornadic initiation has the best chance? Well, give me a second here, and we will take a look once again at dew point. Storm initiation, I think, will take place just about right at the Mississippi River Valley. That's where I think it'll start, and it'll continue to track along Illinois. So I think Illinois currently has the best chance at getting some of these tornadoes and supercells. What about the lack of insulation at the moment, especially in Illinois? Give me a second. I'm going to take a look at the SKUTs from the soundings from earlier. So I don't think that insulation is going to be much of a problem, especially with dew points this high. The temperatures have dropped, but because we have as much dew point as we do, that will provide the instability for the tornado initiation, as well as the fact that we have the surface low moving through the area. Yeah, there is a warm front there. Oh, actually, is it a warm front or a dry line? It's a warm front and a dry line. So I think that likely we'll see initiation within this area right here, as well as just south of the warm front there. So pinched between this dry line and this warm front here. But like I said, though, initiation shouldn't be hindered because of insulation, just because of the amount of humidity that we've got. And then also because you have the initial lift sources of the warm front and the dry line there. We're going to come back over here, though, and we still have this. Okay, we've got a new severe thunderstorm. Oh, that's the watch. Here we go. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 5:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for northeastern Indiana, Jefferson, Armstrong, and Clarion counties. And this is for, I believe there's some hail in this. Yeah, 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. There's also a severe thunderstorm watch for Indiana County, Butler County, Allegheny County, Westmoreland County, and Armstrong counties in Pennsylvania. We've got a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for Washington County, Allegheny County, Westmoreland County, and Fayette counties in Pennsylvania. And then we still have this severe thunderstorm warning for Belmont, Washington, Greene counties. I believe that's in Pennsylvania, and Ohio and Marshall counties in West Virginia. Got our new scan in. Nothing is really standing out at the moment. We'll come over to base velocity, see if there's any rotation. This storm's just passing the radar site, so nothing much there. We do have some very strong winds, though, aloft in this Greensburg area and just north of Smithton. We've got actually clipping. So how this works is you've got so much wind that it actually clips to the other side of the chart, just in those areas there. New severe thunderstorm warning in Indiana. Come over here to this radar site. Iowa Falls. I'll take a look at that in just a second. We're going to come over here to reflectivity. New severe thunderstorm warning here in Indiana. This is for Hendricks County, Park County, Boone County, Montgomery County, and Putnam counties in Indiana. This is for 1-inch hail. Winds, at least in these Indiana storms, haven't been very... we haven't had a lot of wind in these storms, mostly just hail. And so this severe thunderstorm warning over here for Madison, Delaware, Boone, Hamilton, and Tipton counties are for 1.25 inch hail. Is the new watch PDS or not? Is not a PDS tornado watch. This is for parts of southern Illinois, parts of eastern Missouri, and then just this little sliver here of western Kentucky. This is not a PDS tornado watch. The one to the north, however, is. Okay, so you wanted me to take a look at the Iowa Falls one. Iowa Falls is up here, isn't it? Iowa Falls, there it is. As soon as the scan comes in, here we are. Let's see what's going on in here. A little too far away to see anything in terms of rotation, but it is starting to exhibit some of those supercell characteristics. Actually, all of these cells in here are exhibiting supercell characteristics. Yeah, so it looks like initiation may happen closer to central Iowa as it moves in, but then we also have that. We also have the plethora of moisture here in parts of western Illinois, which will just, as they produce, will sustain them as they move across the state. But we are getting a lot of these hook-shaped cells right in this area. Got our new scan coming in. Yeah, these are starting to look textbook. These are actually currently low precipitation, which is good for chasers. Chasers do like LP supercells. Hamilton County in Indiana, and I know there's one in Indiana, but in Iowa, what state? Oh, yeah, no, I completely agree with you. This area right in here, where these supercells are popping up, this is where the majority of the tornado action is going to start. And once again, though, fortunately, these appear to be low precipitation supercells, so... Man, they are just expanding this. Oh, we have our first tornado warning. Well, first tornado warning since I've been live. There was one in Iowa earlier, but we've got a tornado warning down here in part of Arkansas. This is for Woodruff and Jackson counties in Arkansas. And at 3:59 p.m. Central Daylight Time, so I'm currently in Eastern Standard Time. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Tupelo, or 9 miles northeast of Augusta, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Oh, that's the tornado. I read it wrong. I thought you said tornado watch. Yeah, this is the warning you were referring to. Sorry about that. Looking at base velocity, kind of hard to see from this far away. I will switch over to the KNQA radar site because I think this will be a little on the closer side. Yeah, it is a little closer. We can see that there's a bit of rotation there. We'll take a look at this on reflectivity. Okay, I missed that. I was out doing other stuff earlier today, hoping to catch the bulk of, this tornado watch here, and I ended up missing it. So we do have a little bit of rotation in here. Currently, we don't have a debris ball, which is good. There is a little speck here, but that doesn't look to be a debris ball at all. We will go ahead and track this out. So the area of concern is right in here, and this storm is moving northeast at, let's see here, 58 miles per hour. Oops, that is not right. Do not. Here we go. Manually track this out. Give me a second, news unit, and I'll bet on that. But 58 miles per hour, 46 degrees. Here we go. So this storm will be at Weldon in less than a minute. So if you're in Weldon, you need to be in your tornado shelter. In Amagon in 10 minutes. So take shelter if you're there as well. Grubbs in 16 minutes, Cache in 28 minutes, and Bono in 40 minutes. Now, as for which one I think will go tornado warning first, if the radar will load, please. Oh, really? Okay. Sometimes the radar does this thing where it doesn't send me any scans for whatever reason, and it was just doing it there. So once I get scans from here, I can move over to KDMX. All right, we're moving over to KDMX. I think this one right here, this one just to the west of Colfax. I think this is going to be the first one to go. The issue with the ones up here is there isn't much. There doesn't appear to be much rotation in it as much as there is in this one just to the west of Colfax. So this is the one that I'm betting goes tornado warning first. With that said, I'll be right back. I have to leave for just a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and throw this on my intermission. So I will be right back, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. So far, none of these have gone tornado warning yet, which is good. Yeah, there wasn't a tornado warning in Iowa. Not yet, at least. There is one. Yeah, there is still one down here in Arkansas. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning coming into Indianapolis now, which I'm looking forward to that. I just heard thunder from it, so I cannot wait. There is a severe thunderstorm warning up here to the north in north central Iowa. But as of right now, I'm going to take a look at this tornado warning here, which is still radar indicated, which means that there could be a tornado on the ground, just nobody's there to see it. The radar looks like there is a tornado there, which, yeah, I can definitely say so. If JCN was here, maybe if he watches it later, I could show him. This is what we mean by rotation that's not broad. It's very, we've got a few pixels of wind that's going in the opposite direction of a few pixels that are going in the opposite direction. So, Doug K. I've actually never heard of Doug K. But we'll look at correlation coefficient here. We do have a little, bit there. Okay, that's not, that is likely not debris because the bulk of the rotation is to the south and to the west of Amigan. But if you live in Amigan and if you live in Grubbs, you need to be taking shelter now. Tornado warning in Iowa. I've seriously never heard of him. Can you tell me what he's... I've got no idea, dude. What is MSP? Oh, come on, don't do it again. Where are you? Yeah, of course, it did it again. I'm trying to get that warning up. No, my name's Jacob. Yeah, I'm from Indiana. So I'm particularly interested in this severe thunderstorm warning here because it's headed my way. But we're going to move over to the Des Moines radar site. I've actually never been storm chasing. That is one of my goals. No, I'm not from Minneapolis. I'm 21, but I've never been storm chasing yet. I need to get my own vehicle first. But I'm a student in meteorology at the moment. I'm a junior. I'm going to head to my senior year this fall. So we've got rotation just over Mingo right now. So we're going to come back over to reflectivity. So we've definitely got this inflow notch right here with the RFD wrapping around at the moment. So if we can get the next scan in, that would be... You're a storm chaser? Yeah, I would love to storm chase. I just don't have the resources to at the moment. Storm chasing was initially what got me into weather. Come on, radar update. Nice. What's your name, dude? So that rotation couplet right here, just to the north and just to the east of Mingo. We'll look at correlation coefficients. We've got a little bit of something there. Is this observed? This is still radar indicated. So if we run back over reflectivity, this is... Although that could... That's likely not debris. And the reason why that's likely not debris is because we see that dip in reflectivity values here. If that was debris, we would see an intensification. So because there's no intensification there, and there's just that ever so slight dip on the correlation coefficient, that's likely nothing. David Casper, right on. I'll look you up, man. Let's see here. We'll look at storm relative velocity here. Yeah, so it's going to be right in this area here. So what we can see is we have, we'll grab the telestration. We have wind coming this way toward the radar, and we've got wind coming this way away from the radar. And within this little notch, we've got a little bit of circulation there. So that's what we're taking a look at right now for anybody following along. This is, since I've been watching this is the first tornado warning that we've gotten. We did have one earlier in Iowa, and I've been told that we've got, yeah, I'm on the tornado warning in Iowa, dude. This is the one in Iowa. This is for, by the way, Story County, Marshall County, and Jasper County. It is not confirmed. It's still radar indicated, but if you live in the area, treat any tornado warning as if it's confirmed, because it just means that we don't have people on the ground spotting it. Spotters have spotted a wall cloud, though, it appears. We will come back over here to, where are we? I'm going to pull up my IEM bot. We'll come over to Des Moines. I'll take your word for it, but I'm almost certain that there's a wall cloud there. I just don't see anybody saying that there is. So we will grab this, and this is headed 16 degrees. That's not right. Don't pay attention to that. We'll zoom out just a little bit here. So this storm is headed in the path of Rhodes in 9 minutes. If you live in Rhodes, you need to be in your shelter because this may have a tornado on the ground. Oh, it's on the warning narrative? Ah, you're right. Sorry about that. I was checking the bot where they usually mention that, but they didn't mention it on there. But thank you for telling me it's on the satellite. It looks like supercells could be about to form on the boundary because cumulus are already starting to bubble. We will take a quick look at the satellite view here in just a second. First, let me pull up. The downside to WSV3 is that you've got to manually grab your satellite imagery. And here comes the rain. Give me a moment, guys. I'm quickly grabbing... go with... It's 9 UTC right now. Or not 9, it's 20 UTC at the moment. Or is it 21 UTC at the moment? Ah, it's 21 UTC. Okay. I'm going to grab band 2. Oh boy, that's taken forever to download. Alright, instead of doing that, I'm just going to do College of DuPage Meteorology. And we'll grab satellite and radar. And we will go into more localized areas. Grab Iowa here. All right, give me a second, and I'm going to move my source over to this window capture, add source. Chrome. Here we are. Okay, so we definitely can see these supercells popping up here with overshooting tops. So this is where we've got the majority of the of that tornado threat. I am gonna go ahead and just drag that off the screen, though. If I need it again, I'll pull it back up. We've got a new tornado warning down here to the south in Arkansas. Yeah, I think that they were... I'm pretty sure this is expected to go well into the night. Especially along that surface low. Bringing me in a scan, but just doing it really slowly. Is it still downloading the thing? Ah, that's why. That explains it. It was still downloading the satellite view that it was taking forever to download. So this is still radar indicated here as well. Take a look at base velocity here. Yeah, so there's a definite couplet there. And we'll grab correlation coefficient. Oh, this is on the ground. There's a debris ball there. There's a National Weather Service hasn't said anything about it yet. Really? National Weather Service hasn't said anything yet, but we have this steep drop-off in correlation coefficient here, which means that we are likely dealing with a tornado in this. And it's at the same area where there's that couplet, right here. So if you live in, come back to reflectivity, if you live in Craighead County or Poinsett County, you need to take shelter now because there's a storm that likely has a tornado in it headed your way. This is still currently in Woodruff County. So if you live in far northeastern Woodruff County, you need to take shelter. This is just past Amagon. So there definitely was or is a tornado here. With a correlation coefficient like that. Okay, yep. Observed tornado now. Damage threat considerable. There is a tornado inside this. So if you live in the path of this, let me grab the tracking here. This is bad. I need to turn that down. Give me a second. We'll put this to 30 minutes out. If you live in Jonesboro, you need to take shelter now. If you live in Grubbs, you need to take shelter now. This will be... Oh, Jonesboro, you're a little ways out of the warning box, so you don't need to take shelter at the moment, but this is headed your way. So take precautions now. Grubbs, Wiener, take shelter. Still have this tornado warning up here in Des Moines, or near Des Moines. It's not observed. This one down here is observed, so we are going to continue on it. Let's pull the road labels back up. This is it now a PDS? It's not being called PDS just yet. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find Little Rock. Yeah, it's not a PDS tornado warning. However, oh, I'm thinking of tornado emergency. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry about that, guys. They're not calling it a particularly dangerous situation yet. But they have confirmed it is a large tornado, and it does have a debris ball in it. So it has picked up stuff. This is what we're dealing with right here. Just to the north and just to the east of Amagon. This is to the east-northeast. And it's headed toward about due northeast. It'll be in between Grubbs and Wiener, headed in... We'll grab this here. That's not what I meant to do. Headed in that direction. Oh, come on. Get off my screen. Here we go. The National Weather Service hasn't said anything like that yet. I've got constant updates from the Little Rock National Weather Service, and they haven't said anything about that. Who in SRW's Discord is saying it? So we still have a confirmed tornado on the ground, moving through Craighead and Poinsett counties. It is now almost entirely moved into this area. We'll grab reflectivity and see what's going on here. No, we're going to need base velocity for this. So there's still definite rotation here. Let's say watch the lane. Yeah, that's the one we're watching at the moment. It's got a definite drop off in the correlation coefficient, which means that there is debris aloft. Got our new severe thunderstorm warning in western Illinois. But for now, we're going to keep an eye on this one here because this is a confirmed tornado on the ground. I don't know why it says radar indicated. This is on the ground. We've now moved over to Memphis. In Poinsett County, they have reported a funnel cloud. So this is no longer on the ground. Yeah, it doesn't seem like this is on the ground anymore. It seems like it is a funnel cloud now. It's still radar indicated. But we can definitely see that hook starting to form on it too. I think they're doing constant updates on the 5-degree scan, or the 0.5 degree scan, sorry. Because we keep getting updated. I wish that they would all do that because this is definitely makes it a lot easier to focus on where the tornado is. Right. Always assume if you're under a tornado warning, you always assume that it's on the ground because A, the reports take a while to actually get to the public, and also B, there may not be a chaser around to actually see and report it. So just because it hasn't been reported, or it might be rain wrapped and just nobody sees it. So there are numerous things that make it so that you need to take tornado warnings seriously whenever they come about. So this storm will be at Bono in 20 minutes. And if you live between Cache and Jonesboro, take shelter. If you live between Cache and Wiener, take shelter. The news unit, can you stop doing all caps, please? It's really filling up the chat. Yeah, currently the moderate risk area is really underperforming, but I think that most of it is about to start. We'll take a look at the HRRR model really quickly. Turn radial data off. We will turn off the watches and warnings. We'll turn off lightning. We'll come over to model and grab HRRR reflectivity p-typed. Okay, apparently the models aren't wanting to work at the moment. Why is this? Okay, give me a second. I'm going to just go to Pivotal. Take a look at the HER model really quickly. Yeah, it looks like initiation will really start in the next couple hours in Illinois, where that majority of the risk is. So we're not over just yet. The tornado warning for Woodruff and Jackson County has expired, or they're letting it, I guess, run out to expire. There's no longer a threat within those warned areas. But if you live within Craighead and Poinsett counties, you need to take shelter because there is a tornado currently. There may be a tornado currently between Cache and Wiener counties, and you don't want to take any chances when it comes down to that. There's another tornado warning up here for in the Des Moines area. It's still radar indicated. We have a storm with a history of producing a tornado down here to the south, so I'm going to continue focusing on this. This is headed toward Jonesboro. Jonesboro is not currently under a tornado warning, but it will be under. It will likely be under a tornado warning soon, especially if the rotation keeps up and it continues to exhibit supercellular structure. And we've got another severe thunderstorm warning up here to the north for hail that's about 1 inch in diameter and wind that's 60 miles per hour. Down here for this tornado warning, this once again produced a tornado, yes, in the past tense. But if you're under a tornado warning, you always take shelter. As James Foster said in chat, there may be a tornado on the ground, you just don't know it because there aren't chasers there. So definitely stay alert if you live in those tornado warned areas, and take shelter if you live in those tornado warned areas as well. Near Mexico, Missouri. Yeah, I'm not gonna focus on that at the moment. If it gets warned, I'll come up to it. But yeah, currently we still have this. I will go ahead and draw a track on it. This is going to be at Jonesboro in 17 minutes. Jonesboro, once again, is not under a tornado warning at the moment. We'll see if they decide to expand the tornado warning box to include Jonesboro. But this is headed in that direction, and it does have a history of dropping a tornado. If you live between Wiener and Jonesboro, you need to be in your shelter. And really quickly now, we'll zoom out here and show just the watches and warnings. We've got 2 tornado warnings here in Iowa. Both are radar indicated. If you live in the path of them, take shelter. We have 1 tornado warning here in Arkansas. It has a history of producing a tornado. We've got a couple severe thunderstorm warnings in Indiana, one in Arkansas, and then a few here throughout Pennsylvania. Tons of lightning in these storms, which means that there's definitely a strong updraft here. And I believe these tornado warnings have expired. Oh no, they expire in 5 minutes. They'll expire here in just a minute. Can't wait to get them off because that's not actually a warned area anymore. This storm is beginning to move out of the warned area, so I think that they're going to go ahead and let it expire because it expires in 4 minutes. Still got rotation there. However, they have issued a severe thunderstorm warning just now for which counties are these? These are Craighead County and Poinsett counties. This severe thunderstorm has a history of producing a tornado, and it is within a tornado watch, which means that tornadoes from here on out are still possible with this system or with this particular cell. The severe thunderstorm warning, though, is for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Since they've issued a severe thunderstorm warning, I believe that means that they're just going to let the tornado warnings expire. So we'll keep an eye on this, but it doesn't appear as though it's a threat anymore. There is still, however, a tornado warning up here in Iowa, so we'll take a look at this. And we're getting in a scan right now. Oh, there we go. We'll take a look at base velocity really quickly. Here comes the scan. This isn't a great radar site. It's very difficult to see what's going on in here. Very disorganized storm right in this area. I do want to see, actually, we'll go ahead and turn off the NEXRAD radar, and we'll head over to National Radar. So we can see what's going on throughout most of the country. And actually, I'm going to switch that off and go to the actual National Radar so I can get the radar loop. We'll loop the last 2.5 hours. Give it a second, guys. It takes a minute to actually load the data. Here we go. So we have just generally had storms pop up in this area. I do want to quickly look at the the Severe Storm Prediction Center, if I can actually speak, website and see what the meso discussions are saying at the moment. Okay, so there aren't any meso discussions currently. Right now, there's a large chunk of Ohio that's not under a severe thunderstorm watch, while the rest of central Ohio is. There are a couple of... What's Radar Omega? I've never heard of it before. Yeah, so for me in Iowa, it shows me as just having one. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to turn off national radar, and we'll come over to NEXRAD again. And we'll just keep an eye on this tornado warning here. I don't believe it's going to do anything, seeing as though this cell is really falling apart. Okay. Grab base velocity really quickly. Not a whole lot going on there. Correlation coefficient, still not a lot going on there. Yeah, it seems that this is kind of deteriorated. There is still, however, a tornado warning until 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time, so for another 15 minutes for northwestern Marshall County in Iowa. Currently, that is our only tornado warning. Yeah, it's currently our only tornado warning in the areas being watched at the moment. Or actually in the country at all. No. Yeah, I know what you meant. I was saying that there was only one showing up on mine, so it's more up to date on when they cancel and whatnot. But it's still not the best because you saw down here there was a tornado warning and a severe thunderstorm warning for the same area when one should have expired. I'm going to come over to storm relative velocity here to see if I can see anything else, because this is, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is a really bad image. Like, you can't really make out anything there, so. There are, however, a line of supercell-like storms that are popping up here. Oh, another tornado warning, once again for this Jonesboro area. So we'll hop back down here. This is radar indicated again. This has a history of producing a tornado. This produced a tornado over here near the Augusta area. Really actually near the Amagon area. So it appears to have cycled. So we are now dealing with another instance of this becoming tornadic. We'll look at correlation coefficient. Don't really see anything there just yet, but Jonesboro, you are in the path of this storm now. This is for Craighead County and Poinsett County in Arkansas. So we will track out this storm here. This is headed northeast at 38 miles per hour. So this will be at Jonesboro in 10 minutes. So if you live in Jonesboro, take shelter because this is a tornado headed your way, a potential tornado. But as always, if you're under a tornado warning at all, take no risks and take shelter immediately because this has a history of producing tornadoes. And also, there just might not be anybody there. There's a live cam in that area? Is there, really? I am interested in that. Is it Earth Cam? Okay, thank you. Let me know when you DM it to me. Oh, just did. That's Jonesboro, Tennessee. This is Jonesboro, Arkansas. Just an FYI there. So we still have a tornado warning here. It's still radar indicated. Oh, come on. Give me a second. I've got to mute. I've got a muted channel really quickly. My meteorology channel from Purdue is just popping right now. So I'm going to go ahead and mute it. There we go. Bill banned him. Okay. That's another story. Where are we? Here we are. Are there any other tornado warnings? Oh, there's a new tornado warning here in Illinois. It is also radar indicated. This one down here is also radar indicated. So I'm going to pop up here to Illinois and take a look at this tornado warning. Some interesting shapes for these storms. But yeah, this is likely rotating. Correlation coefficient. Oh. There's a bit of a drop off there. Although that could just be a clear spot where there are no particles, so we're not actually seeing a drop off. We're getting a new scan in as we speak. I don't know if you can hear the storm in the background, but we've got some stuff moving through right now. The tornado warning in Iowa has just expired. And we still have this tornado warning down here. So I'm going to take a look at base velocity again. It's not seeing much, so we'll go to storm relative velocity. I'm not sure what this pink is. There we go. There's the rotation. Yeah, there's definitely rotation in that. And I'm suspicious of that correlation coefficient drop off there. I'm wondering if there may actually be a tornado on the ground in this. This is from Quad Cities. Let's take a look at what the National Weather Service has to say about it. Okay, so they've just issued a tornado warning. They haven't said much else about it at all, so that's good news. And we'll pull up chat over here. There we go. I forgot to ask you, are you new to the stream? If you are new to the stream, Nate, welcome. I don't think I've seen you before, but I may have. I'm just bad with names. So if you are new, welcome. And if you aren't new, welcome back. Still radar indicated. Both of these are radar indicated. I think this one has a better shot at producing, so I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Although this right here, is this what you're referring to? Not sure where Roseville is. Give me a second, I'll find it. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Sorry, I didn't notice it was the area that I was actually looking at the moment. Um, yeah, this is definitely, there is rotation in it. That's no doubt. Um, we look at storm relative velocity. As soon as the scan gets fully in, these stripes will go away for the most part. Southwest? You talking about this right here? Or this right here? That's possible. That's not what I meant to click. That's what I meant to click. That's possible that there is a little bit of rotation right there. I think that what they're talking about, why the warning's here, is from this area right in here. Just like almost due north of Roseville. There is a correlation coefficient drop off right there. So I'm wondering if that's a debris ball. There might be a little bit of a debris ball in that. And for anybody who's wondering, this is to the west of Interstate 74 in northwestern Illinois. I will set this in motion though to see. We got a new scan coming in at the moment. The tornado warning in Arkansas is still here. It's still radar indicated. Lowering. We'll come back over here then. Oh, they said that they canceled it. There's no longer a tornado warning in effect here for the Jonesboro area. So we're going to come back up here to the Quad Cities radar site. And of course it's waiting for activation status. Give me a moment here. I'm going to move to KIND really fast. Just because sometimes WSV3 does this thing where when you transfer over to radar sites, it won't let you. So you have to transfer over to another one by proxy. Here we are, back to KDVN. There we go. Still radar indicated. There's also an inch hail in this. Give me a moment, guys. I have to take off for a second. I'll leave you guys on this, though. All right, I am back. If there's anybody still watching, probably not. Yeah, definitely not. But for anybody that is, we still have a tornado warning up here for northern Knox County in Illinois, and this is until 6:45 p.m. Wait a minute. Sorry, 5:45 p.m. These times are wrong. And we've got another one down here. This is an observed tornado. We will find the nearest radar site, which is going to be KNQA. And we're going to take a look at this because this appears to be an observed tornado on the ground. See if I can find a quickly going to see if I can find coverage of this. Let's see here. Well, apparently I can't get any live video feed of it, but there appears to be an observed tornado on the ground. We'll grab correlation coefficients. Oh, yeah. There appears to be something there. So we'll grab base velocity. Here's the little couplet. That is some very strong winds right there. So that's right in this area. We'll move over to correlation coefficient and see if there's a slight drop off there. But this is definitely a powerful tornado down here for. Oh, they canceled it? What? Never mind, I stand corrected. Apparently they canceled this warning. There still appears to be a couplet there, but they seem to have sufficient evidence to get rid of it. We've got a couple more supercellular looking storms popping up. I do want to quickly take a look at this and grab a look at base velocity here to see if we've got this little bit of inflow right in this area. So if we move back over to reflectivity, it's just right in here. We still have the tornado warning up here in Illinois. It's still radar indicated. PDS tornado watch, for those of you who don't know. Then there's a couple normal tornado watches down here further to the south, as well as a severe thunderstorm watch stretching from Indiana through central Ohio, then breaking off and then building back up here in Pennsylvania. So we'll just quickly take a look at watches and warnings. We've got that severe thunderstorm watch, PDS tornado watch, and then some regular tornado watches down here. A couple tornado warnings. This tornado warning has expired, or has been canceled, I should say. And this tornado warning up here is ongoing. And it's for a cell that could produce a tornado. So we'll come back up here to this. Keep an eye on it. if it'll ever load. Of course it won't. Here we go, we'll pick it back up again. So this is a tornado warning for Knox County. Got some rotation in here. We'll look at storm relative. Yeah, definitely some rotation in here. And we'll pop on correlation coefficient. Not seeing a whole lot in there. Oh, new tornado warning down here, expanded from the previous one. They, I guess, decided to extend it. This is radar indicated as well. Got the new scan coming in here. We'll switch over to reflectivity. So it looks like what's going on is, yeah, we still have that strong rotation here, which, let me pull up the telestration. Actually, let me put away the telestration really quickly. Finish. Where's the radar? Radar's to the south. So what's going on here is we have winds going away from the radar here, and then winds going toward the radar here. So what's going on inside is we've got rotation in there. I'm going to get rid of the telestration. I know that looks awful. We will quickly finish that. For whatever reason, my my tracks were turned off. So usually if there's obvious rotation somewhere, it'll tell me basically where it is. But for whatever reason, it was turned off. I'm going to turn it back on really quickly and see if that helps anything. We still have this tornado warning down here, which we're going to keep an eye on for a little while at least. There is a lot of velocity here, so we've got some very strong inbound and some decent outbound winds on this. Correlation coefficient isn't really showing much of anything, but this is directly to the north of Cardwell, and this is in the, we'll find it here. Here we go. That's not the proper path. Grab this. 43 miles per hour. This will be at Nimmons in 24 minutes. If you live in Nimmons, you need to be in your shelter. But anyway, I have to hop off of here. So it was nice streaming for you guys. Please tune in again next time, and I'll see you all later. Have a good one.